for the people that come. Hey, I see someone is there. If you can hear me, let me know. Hey, Arnisha. How are you, honey? See, a few of you are here. If you are here, let me know if you can hear me. You could just type a button, type a little, Lord help me, type a button or a question, type a reply, press the button and let me know if you can hear me as we get started for our third Savvy Sundays in December. This is session 3. Hey, Whitney, you can hear me okay? If you can hear me, let me know. Hey there, Charlene. I'm actually going to give you a shout out today. You don't know what it's about, but you will be getting a shout out. So, hey. So I'm looking at this camera and I'm looking at my eye and I'm looking the wrong way, y'all, because it makes my eye look a little bit, as my husband likes to say, it's a bit cattywampus. I'm a little sideways here. So let me try to move this the right way. I'm actually making room because he is going to join me soon. And I'm very excited about that. And I'll tell you about that part, but we'll wait a couple of minutes. How's everybody doing? Did y'all have a good day? Did y'all get to relax and stay home? Or were you out and about like me? Because I literally spent the whole day out, but it was a great day. I actually had an opportunity to go down to the Ensemble Theater here in Houston. They do something called Christmas at the Ensemble. And oh my God, it's amazing. They bring in over 250 kids from underserved communities and they expose them to not only the theater, but they had people who were doing STEM work, and there were people there from the museum, the health museum. There was a real brain on site. Like, it was crazy. So it was an absolutely awesome. Hey, Miss Tisha, how are you? It was an awesome experience today. So that's what I did earlier today. And then I am here ready to serve and deliver as promised with you all. And I can't wait to see your pictures, Miss Donna Mack. Cannot wait to see your pictures. So I'm going to jump on in, and whoever joins us, they can join us in a little bit. But as I said, I'm Tara. This is Savvy Sundays in December. I'm the owner of She Dates Savvy. I teach smart and ambitious women how to navigate the world of online dating. And I decided to do something different for December. I decided that we were going to spend some time 3 weekends in a row, 3 Sundays at 6 p.m. And some of you have been here every Sunday, and I so appreciate you. And I said I was going to spend 3 weeks with you, teaching you 3 different lessons with one goal in mind, and that was to get you ready to date in 2018. Hey, Barbara, thank you for joining us. Barbara's been here, I want to say, every week. This is your 3rd week, so thank you for being here. And so the goal was really to go over those lessons that ladies need to learn before you actually get back out there and date again. When I meet ladies on the online dating side, they say, hey, I'm ready. Right? But sometimes they've not done the work. And so I will send you back to school before it's time to actually work with me, because I understand that if you've not done the work, what I'm doing with you is not going to work. So the first week we talked about doing the hard work. That means going back in, dredging up all that old gook and that nasty stuff that has kind of paralyzed us and kept us in a place of not being able to move forward in love and relationships, or either we keep seeing the same patterns happening because we've not done the work. So that was week 1. Week 2, we did the relationship autopsy. Remember, ladies, I told you it ain't always them. Sometimes it's us. So it's like, what can we do differently? What can we do this time around to make sure that what happened in that last one or the last 3 before that doesn't happen again? And so now we're at the fun part, right? Hey, Sashay. Now we're at the fun part, y'all. And Sashay, I'm shouting you out. Sashay is married, but here's the great thing about this. A, this works for anyone, married or single. And B, I'm bringing my husband in soon and shortly. And we're going to talk about not just visions for single relationships, but visions for married relationships. So stick around. If you've got a girlfriend who's married or maybe in a relationship, tag her. Let her know, girl, you need to jump on this live, because truly this is for anyone who wants to have a vision for where your relationship is going and where your love life is going as a whole. So like I said, my husband is going to join me, and I'll be honest with you. I know for a fact that God, I'm a sap. I know what we're doing is absolutely the work that God has for us in our marriage, in ministry, and whatever it is. And as they say, ain't nobody mad but the devil, right? So for the last 2 Sundays I've done these lives, he's been perfectly fine. He's in the room watching TV, doing whatever. Today, I get home, he's had a headache all day. He don't walk around with headaches all the time, right? But I understand that the idea would be, that we're gonna say, Reginald can't be here tonight because he's got a headache. But guess what, devil? You don't win. He's coming. He's gonna push through it. And if we gotta go to the urgent care when we're done, we're going to do what God has called us to do, and that is to come and deliver a message and a word. So I right now claim victory over this headache and all of it, because there is something good that he's coming to share with you ladies tonight. So like I said, he'll be here soon. So let's start talking about making our vision plain and why that is so important. So important. So here's the thing. You've done the hard work, meaning you got yourself together. You're like, okay, Tara, I knew what I needed to deal with. I had to let go of some anger, some hurt, some pain, some betrayal, whatever it was, right? You've done that part. Hey, Misty. So you've done that part. Now, we moved on to the relationship autopsy, right? So then you were actually able to look at what in the past you could have done differently, right? So we started owning our stuff, right? So at this point, if you've actually done lessons 1 and lessons 2 from the 2 weeks prior to today, you're kind of starting to see where things could go for you, right? And so tonight is so important, because what happens is we get ourselves all good and put together and healed and fresh and just ready, but we ain't got no vision. Right? And so then what happens? What happens is we go out there, and then Buster the Clown comes along, and we don't have a vision for where we're truly going with our love life and what it is that we really want. And so any old thing starts coming our way, and here we are again in this crazy and vicious cycle, right? So I believe if we actually make a true and clear vision for what it is that we're trying to attract, what it is that we want, then when it comes along and it A doesn't look like that, or B doesn't feel like that, we can quickly say, that's not it, right? So tonight is about getting you to your it, whatever your it is, so that when it comes along, if it's not right, you can quickly move it out of your life and out of your space, okay? So how many of you have had a vision for your career? Right? Most of the women I work with are professional, you're career driven. I mean, I'm fascinated by the women that I get to talk to. Like, I mean, I don't talk specifically about my clients, but I mean, from women who own high dollar companies to women who work in high powered positions in the government, to entrepreneurs, to women out there who are maybe on TV, behind the scenes of TV, all these great careers. Like, you ladies are super ambitious when it comes to your work, right? So we've made those goals, right? When it comes to what we wanted to do in our work, in our career. What about your children? You made visions for their lives. Like, I want him or her to do this when they get out of school, right? We do all of that for everyone else except for ourselves. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. How many of you have ever done either a vision board or even just written out a list of what it is that you want in your next relationship? If you have, you can say I have. If you've never given it any thought, you can be honest and say you've never given it any thought, because the goal of this is to truly get you to a place where you actually get to work on that. So what are we going to talk about? You can't do that. Like, we can't walk around without actually having a vision for our love and for what it is that we want in our relationships, right? You need a vision for your relationship goals. So how do you get it? Let's talk about it. I'm going to give you 3 really quick steps of how you can actually get yourself to that vision that you want and need for your next love, your next relationship, and even your marriage. The first thing, what's your top 5 list? Now, I remember back in the day, women used to have these lists and they would be like laundry lists, like they're so super duper long and no one would ever meet all those things on that list. So I want to help you. We're just going to do a top 5 list, right? You start with 5 things. What are those qualities? Okay? The 5 qualities. Notice I said qualities. I didn't say all the other things. All right, Miss Sashay said, I did it before I met my husband. Hello. Hello. And I did too. And y'all, I walked out of the room and I left it. So I'm going to see if I can get somebody to bring it in here for me. Because I am going to show you a bit of it. I'm not going to show you my whole vision board because it is truly between me and God and what I prayed for. But again, I had a plan, right? I had things I was looking for. So what are those qualities you're looking for? Why is it important to talk about qualities? Like, is he God-fearing? Is he caring? Is he funny? You know, is he a hard worker? Those are qualities, right? I don't want you getting caught up on the physical things because, you know, we go, well, I want tall, dark, and handsome, and I want this, and the other. He had to have a 6-pack. I got a 20-pack over here, right? So I'm not out here necessarily saying that I needed a man with a 6-pack. So when we start sticking to the physical, sometimes we get a little thrown off because, first of all, you're not those things that you are asking that man to be if you only stick to the physical. But if you start building it based on some qualities, the likelihood of you actually attracting and pulling in someone that is truly what you're looking for is a bit higher. So if you have some qualities that you know for a fact, you could just give me one. Give me one of the qualities that you know you're looking for, because that's going to be important as you're making your top 5 list. Okay, so that's the first part of making your vision plain. What are you looking for? You got to know what you're looking for, right? Because remember, Buster the Clown is around the corner. He's looking. He's trying to come in here. But if you can look at your list and say, Buster, you're not him. Thank you, babe. You're not him. Then it makes it easier for you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. It makes it easier for you to tell him to move on and keep it going, right? The next thing, what are your relationship non-negotiables, right? What are those things that you are not willing to sacrifice on, right? This is so important. Why? Because often we find ourselves in relationships and you're like, yeah, I never thought that I would be with this kind of guy, or I never thought that it would be this kind of thing. I told you all about my story in a relationship that I was in for way too many years of my life, right? Way too many years of my life. And when I look back at my relationship non-negotiables, which at the time I didn't even have, because like I told you, we just kind of happened upon a thing. But when I look back at those things that did not line up, this was not a person that I should have entertained, because the basic, like the core of who I am and who he was were completely different, right? So if you know you want to be married and you are meeting someone who does not want to get married, y'all, it ain't gonna work, right? It is not going to work. So that's one of your non-negotiables that if it's on your list, it shouldn't go away. It should not go away, because that's what's truly in your heart. Sashay said one of the things that she wanted was a God-fearing man. Absolutely. And Sashay, I will expound on that too. So remember, I've been in a relationship with someone who, he wouldn't go to church with me. I think one time he went to church, it was a Christmas program. And that's the only time I can think that he went to church with me. And I really was like begging, like, I want to go to church tonight. Please, please, please go. So for me, the next go round, I said, okay, God, because that's how I talk to God. I said, the next one, he got to have his own relationship with you. I'm not trying to lead nobody to God. I'm not trying to win his soul over. I'm not trying to do any of that. I want to be able to praise and worship and move forward in a relationship with someone who already had his own thing with God. And then we could strengthen that with God as our base and our foundation, right? I was not out here I wasn't trying to save souls. I just didn't want to do that. That was not where I wanted to be in my next relationship. I wanted a man who had a relationship that was closer to God than maybe even mine was, because you could take me along on this journey, right? So that's what I wanted. And another thing I wanted, and I believe in my heart, this is why God sent my husband to me, is because my prayer became, God, send me a good role model for my daughter. Send me a good role model for my daughter, okay? And I want to be very clear because I don't have anything against anyone. Madison and her father have their own relationship. Her father lives out of state. So when she lives with him in the summer, they have their thing. They talk throughout the year. I wanted someone consistently here with us, okay? With me, with her, okay? So let me be real clear because I'm not saying anything about my ex or his relationship with his daughter, but I'm talking about me and what I wanted in my household with my daughter. I wanted a good role model. I wanted someone she could look up to. I wanted someone who was hardworking. I wanted someone who would absolutely treat me well so that she could see these behaviors modeled in a relationship. It's important, y'all. It's important. And when you talk about dating with kids and stuff like that, that's a whole nother, that's a 2019 live that we can do. But when you start talking about that kind of stuff, it's important. It matters because you're taking them along on your ride, right? So my non-negotiables were, he's got to be a great role model, right? I don't want her fussing and fighting with somebody or disrespecting someone. I wanted him to be someone that she could look up to and respect. I also wanted him to have his own relationship with God. Not that I was going to have to pull him along, right? So these were the things that were on my list. These were the things that were in my heart that I expressed to him, that I actually physically put on a board, which I'm going to show you a bit of, right? So we've talked about your top 5 list, right? That's important. What are your non-negotiables, right? And then what are you willing to change to get to your heart's desires? This is a big one, y'all, because again, it takes us back into the workroom, right? What are you willing to change? Because see, some of us been single so long, we ain't changing for nobody. And y'all, that's not the way to be. That is not the way to be. And I know that might hurt because you're like, but Tara, no, I'm perfect like I am. Listen, you very well may be. But there might be some things that you got to give on, that you just have to change a little bit on to make sure that you are actually going to get to whatever it is in this vision for your next love and your relationship. Now, she is here tonight on the live, and I want to be real clear when I say this, because this is not an example of me saying, hey ladies, you need to do this, but this was a decision she made. My lovely client and I, we met this summer. I'm not gonna say your name because I don't say people's names, but you know who you are. We met this summer. She came to one of my workshops, and she afterwards signed up for my executive package, like, Tara, you got to teach me how to do this. I want you to do this for me, right? So we got in there. We started doing it. She met a guy. They were doing well, all right? And then things kind of went off the rails. And we won't go into all that, but things went off the rails. And so then when she and I talked again, I said, so wait, what's going on? Like, what's happening? This was great. You guys were connecting and all this. And so she says, well, yeah, she says, we did and all these things, and I really liked him. He was a nice guy. She goes, but you know what? I got to do some work on me. And I go, okay, so listen, first of all, y'all know I love doing the work, right? And she says, I'm not where I need to be physically to be out there and putting myself in a vulnerable situation as far as dating and all of that, right? She just didn't feel like herself. You know, I have something that I used to call my date weight. And y'all know what that is. That means everything laying flat, it's good, it's together. You walk in the room and it's like, bam, pow, what? I know you looking at me, right? Right? So we all have whatever that number is for us, where your self-esteem is just through the roof. And for her, she wasn't at that date weight. So what did she do? She backed off our program and she started doing the work on her. And when I tell y'all that she has done the work in these, it's probably only been about 3 months. She's done the work. Today she did a new photo shoot, y'all, because she needed new pictures. She needed some whole new pictures because she don't even look like that lady no more, right? But she went in there and did the work because she knew, I had to work on me, because what's going to keep coming up is some other stuff, but it's really because I'm not feeling good about who I am right now. Right? So whatever those things are that you need to work on, don't be afraid to do that. If that means going back to school because you want to be able to be around a certain caliber of man. Maybe you say, you know what, I've only dealt with this kind of men before, and maybe if I go to some classes and start exposing myself to stuff, maybe whatever it is, whatever that work is that you need to do, because only you need to do. Sashay says, I had to change my way of thinking. Oh God, girl. She said, I had to change my way of thinking about marriage. It is not a fantasy. Amen. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. It's not a fantasy. It is not a fantasy. So Sashay, elaborate on that for me. Were you thinking that it was flowers, cards, and candy, everything is roses and unicorns and all of that stuff, and then when the hard work came, it was like, wait, what? Nobody told me about that part, right? Because nobody tells us that. They only tell us that we're gonna have a pretty dress, and everybody gonna take your picture, and you gonna look nice, and y'all gonna look good together, and people gonna put hashtag relationship goals at the bottom of your pictures. But when you get home, you're gonna have to work on that thing. Right? Jesus, listen, when I tell you that since May of 2017, my husband and I have had attack after attack after attack after, like everything, right? Everything from a storm to car accidents to horrific losses to just things Mack trucking us like, whoa, shaking us to the core, right? Right? But if we were only in it for the good times, my God, if we were only in it for the good times, y'all, we would have been out a long time ago. Because we've had to walk through those ugly places. We've had to walk through those ugly times. And here's the thing. Here's why it's important to make sure whoever it is that you're with truly has those qualities, is because that's what you're going to have to pull on when it gets hard. Sashay said it right. TV marriage was not real. No, it's not a soap opera. Like, it is absolutely not a soap opera. It's not the fairy tale that everyone would have you believe. And so, I want to be clear when I say to you about getting out there and dating and having relationships. First of all, I believe that it can be absolutely beautiful. But again, we've always talked about the work. There is absolutely work on both sides. Getting in it and staying in it, right? So I gotta be real clear on that, right? So that one was, what are you willing to do to change your heart's desires, right? So I'm gonna show you ladies really briefly, because it's a whole nother class. Lord Jesus. So this is my vision board, right? This was a vision board that I began working on before I met my husband. And first of all, I'll pull it back so you can see it. So y'all see my vision board is not on a poster board. My vision board is done on a canvas because I need to hang it up and I need to see it. But I want to be able to show you something that I was working towards and that I truly got, right? Man you can respect, right? Remember, I needed a role model, right? So I can respect a role model. Those were things that were in my heart. Found a quote that says, you will bring out the best in a man when you require that he be a man, right? I wasn't looking for no boys. I needed a man in my life, right? These were things that were on my list. These were qualities. I wanted the qualities of a man, right? I wanted someone I can respect. I wanted God, faith, and love. Why is this important, y'all? Because, see, we get caught up on the TV side of it, right? Because he got to drive a Range Rover, and he got to have, XYZ amount of dollars and zeros in the bank, and he's got to look this way and dress this way, but he ain't got no character, right? He's not a man you can truly respect because it's just the package, the outside. So when we talk about making your vision real plain, hey, Dee Dee, when we talk about, Dee Dee, you're coming in late, but I want you to go back and watch this because I know a couple years ago we talked about vision boards and doing that. So I want you to watch this from the beginning because there's some good stuff here. So when we talk about making our vision plain, It's not about those physical qualities, because that could be snatched away in a day, right? In a second, it can be snatched away. But when you talk about true qualities of a man, Michelle says, yes, the character is important, because that's what's gonna carry him and take him on a lot of days, right? On a lot of days, that's what's going to determine who you're dealing with. And so we've gone over making your vision plain, right? So now remember, we've done the heart work, we've done the relationship autopsy. Now we have our vision, right? So here's what happens. You're out there and the men start coming, right? I am so excited because now my husband is going to come and share with you something that we get so many wonderful comments about. We wrote the book, Smart Girls Don't Date Dumb. And so in the book, I had him write a chapter. I said, babe, look, I've told them all I can tell them. I'm a woman. We date. Look, I pretty much have given them everything I can give them. Hey, Miss Connie. And I said, I need you to write a chapter, right? And so the chapter that he wrote is called Kids and Kings. And when I tell you that it has blessed the lives of many women, I walk away proud and I walk away smiling, because the foreword that I wrote before his chapter basically said this: I want you to hear this from a man who doesn't want anything from you. I'm going to say that again. I want you to hear this from a man who does not want anything from you, right? Because how many times have we heard all the niceties and all the things that we wanted to hear, but on the other side was a man who wanted something from us, right? So if he wants something from us, 9 times out of 10, he'll tell us whatever the heck we want to hear, right? And so this was truly from his heart to you, saying, listen, here's the skinny, real quick, down and dirty on men, so that when you're out there and you've done your work and you're navigating in a really great space, that when it starts coming at you and it ain't right, you know quickly and you can jump ship, cut bait, and be done. So I'm going to call him in now. And remember, y'all said he got a headache. So I don't know how he's going to feel tonight. Come on over, sugar. So he wrote the chapter Kids and Kings. And Kids and Kings. And so he's going to talk to you a little bit about Kids and Kings and just kind of how to know who's operating what and when. Because, again, it matters. It absolutely matters, especially when we've done the work to get ourselves together and to be ready. And then all of a sudden, you got to come up a little bit. You got to move it a little bit more so we can get in. He's coming into the picture. Hold on. And then I'm also going to show you guys that we're not just talking about it. We are being about it, even when it comes to our relationship and our vision. Actually, you know what? I'm going to back up a little bit. And I'm not going to show it all to you guys because, again, this is our thing. But, y'all, this is for us. This is our vision board. Because, remember, it's not just about getting yourself that man. Y'all together, now what y'all going to do? Do y'all have a goal for the relationship, for the marriage, for the love, whatever it is that you're working towards, right? So, we have a board with goals on it, which absolutely have been some of the things that we've done. Prince, okay, so our dog's trying to come in, y'all. So this is real life. It's fine. He can stay there. This has actually been stuff that we set into play. What was it, going the end of 2017? And so all 2018, y'all, when I said we were fighting the battles and hell was coming and breaking loose and all that stuff, we truly were working towards goals. And I look at the word commitment. And y'all, sometimes we got to watch these words, because what happens is commitment wasn't bit like, oh, I'm just going to commit to you. Sometimes you have to have things that challenge you that make you have a stronger commitment. And so I think what happened is maybe, baby, when we put that word on there, because we had to commit in ways that we never, he's funny. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. The dog now wants to go outside. So, y'all, this real life for us. So I'm going to have to holler real loud and get somebody. Miss Vernell. I'm sorry. Because he got to get said commitment, we went through things this year that truly had to have us recommit and triple commit and like quadruple commit, right? So when you put that on there, did we have a stronger commitment? Absolutely. But was it because of challenges and things that came? Absolutely it was. So again, I know I'm kind of moving all over the place, but this is my husband, Reginald. Reginald, say hi to the people.
Hello.
It's Reginald with his headache, but he's here, and I praise God. I'm happy that you are here because I know you're like not feeling. You're kind of sweaty too. Bless you. Like right on your lip. Are you okay? No. Okay. Wow. We're going to make this fast, y'all, because like I said, we might have to go to the urgent care. But you wrote the chapter, Kids and Kings. Talk to me about what that was all about when we think about kids and kings and how men actually operate.
I guess the first thing I always say is that the easiest way for a woman to distinguish where a man is to figure out, where his priorities are.
Priorities, y'all. Y'all heard that?
All males fall into one or two categories. They are either men and completely aware of their own situation, where they are, what their goals are, what their aspirations are. And I can't say that all good men need to be Christians, but all good men need to be aware that something bigger than you, more powerful than you, is in control.
That's
and
good.
You have to have a North Star, something that you're looking to that will determine a lot of the decisions that you make.
Why is that important?
It's a dangerous thing for a man to feel like he is the author and creator of his own story. Men, we fail. The best of us fail. The best of us are aware of our failures. We own them. We don't make excuses for them. We try and learn from them. I make a mistake pretty much every week with those closest to me. But one of the things as a man that I pride myself on is standing up and owning my mistakes and saying I messed up here and doing the work to self-analyze and figure out why did I make that mistake? What provoked me to say that or do that or think that way? And then again, this is where the higher power comes into play, where I have to go to God and say, show me why I think like this, why I feel like this. Help me to get better in this area. And then when God, and He's faithful, when He shows me why I think the way I think and why it's out of character, not of Him, and how to fix it, then I typically come to those closest to me and say, this is what, where, when, why I see things the way I see it. And for whatever I did or said to you in my midst of confusion, I apologize, I own that, and I'm better. I'm not perfect. I may relapse, but for now, I'm better in that particular area.
And y'all, that is so important in a relationship, and not just from a man's perspective, but from ours as well, because I'm not perfect, and I do make mistakes, and I do things that just aren't whatever they should be, whether it's something I said or how I reacted or behaved. And again, because we are committed to one another and nobody's walking out the door, then I'm going to say, look, I apologize when I did this, when I said that, right? And it's really being able to both own our stuff, especially when you're in a marriage and a relationship, right? So let's talk about kids and kings. What are some of the qualities, or I guess I should say characteristics, that exist when a woman is dealing with a kid? And this is important, ladies, because we talked about a lot of stuff here, and a lot of the stuff that we've talked about in these last 3 weeks, we've owned our stuff, right? But when we start talking about the men that we've dated in the past and start looking at, oh, well, what did that mean? Or what was this thing that I was dealing with, right? we're going to kind of go over some of those characteristics. What are some of the characteristics and traits of a kid when a man is operating in his kidness, if you will?
Most kids are only in it for the immediate gratification right now. Children never can see the consequences of their actions. They can never understand the gravity.
So he's only in right now, in this moment, right now, today.
They're only thinking about, and generally speaking, you have to understand how men, biologically, how we're driven, visually, I guess you could say superficially. And that aspect of us, that kid in us, will absolutely destroy.
Yes.
It's the connection with God that allows the king to stand up and to keep the kid in check. And so it's important that relationship be solid in order to keep his eyes and his focus, I guess, straight. Another area, you can oftentimes tell a kid versus a king on how he spends what he does with his resources or his finances. Kids generally, if you ask the average child right now, if you have them in your home, or the next time you see one, how much money do you have? They're going to either hit you with, I don't know,
right,
or nothing. And that's a kid response. If you ever come across someone who has characterized himself as a man and has no awareness of his finances and would spend all of his resources for immediate gratification and not understand that if things go sideways, these people that I call family,
right,
my wife, my kid, my family, they're going to come to me. And it would be childish for me to be in a position where I say, I don't have anything.
Your money fund.
That's another. That's another.
And listen, and we're being realistic. We understand that situations and challenges happen, but we're talking about at the core of what's going on. My daddy taught me a man need to be able to go somewhere and get it, right? So even if he doesn't have it in his pocket, even just having credit and some resources in place so that when you need something, you guys aren't just out there looking crazy, right? So that's what I'm talking about when we talk about actually being a good steward, if you will, of your finances. So it doesn't mean you got to make $500,000. You could be a $35,000 earning man and do well with your money. It's about how you manage it, right? And so when you find him and every week he tricking off at the club and he's somewhere and he's spending on this, that, and the other, what's happening? Come Monday, he looking at you for some gas money because his priorities were not in the right place, right? You talked a little bit about just when you don't have something that has that foundation and grounding and just about like you didn't go there, but let's talk about chasing skirts. Because a lot of men out here chasing skirts and running women.
Men who have poor finances, oftentimes when I counsel and deal with men, where I typically find broke men, I also find men who have more than one relationship. And what I oftentimes tell men is, look, women are expensive. If you're going to do it right and you're going to do it the way it needs to be done, it's expensive. If you're not one of those guys who, let's go Dutch, or you pay this time and if you're that guy, then okay, I really don't have a lot to say about that. But if you are truly someone who is approaching your relationship the right way, you understand, I personally can't afford but one wife. I can't afford any other distractions. I just can't, because my wife like nice stuff. And I can't be in a position, not to mention just from a character perspective, but from my finances perspective. I do not have the ability to split my resources between two women, two hearts, two households. It's all or nothing as far as I'm concerned. So it's not.
Laura said, yes, they chase skirts.
It's not by accident that you find a man who has more than one companion. He is also financially strapped. They go hand in hand.
What about some of the any other kid characteristics? Because we talked about chasing skirts, we talked about finances. What about personality and behavior and the way? And so we're here, we're talking to the people. Remember when I was working on that project that I was gonna have to go to LA for, right? And I came home and he was straight tripping, y'all. Like, I was like, what is wrong with you? What is? And he was just like in his feelings, and he wasn't having it. And he was some kind of way, right? And I'm like, what's happening? This is good. You don't seem happy. Like, what's? And he had to go and sit with himself and work it out with God. And he came back and he said, I'll be honest with you. Like, the king in me gets this. He understands. But the kid in me, he want his wife at home with him. Like, he ain't trying to hear that you got to be out there for this much time and all of that, right? So he was talking from an emotional standpoint. Like, he was reacting from an emotional standpoint. But that kid had to get his tantrum out.
And to be clear, we're not talking about a weekend in LA. We were talking about her getting an apartment and moving to LA for 10 months. And us having to go and like figure out how to schedule LA time, and then
but God worked it out,
and so and then we were kind of newly married, and so here's the deal: like you, that's another thing also. Like, just know your limitations and then speak up. You know, it's a right way and a wrong way to say and to voice your opinion. I had not, and here's the deal: I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly growing.
He has done a lot of work, y'all.
In the last few years than I would not have thought that I could grow as much as I have in the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like, if you want to work out, you go to the gym. If you want to get stronger, you go through some stuff. And so
don't ask for no more strength.
It just, well, I can't, because I have to be strong for 5 years from now. I don't know what that's going to bring. That could be another Harvey. And I can't be dealing with strength from 2017 with the 2022 situation. So I'm never going to deny God of his lesson plan or whatever he chooses to send us through, because it's for a greater good later down the road.
Amen. I believe that.
He's proven that. And so I think the biggest thing also that I'll say before I get out of your screen is legacy. Kings are always aware of the legacy that they're building.
Yeah.
If you see a man who's not aware of the legacy that he's building, he's 9 times out of 10 not building one. The older I get, the more I realize that my actions and what I'm doing and what I'm building, it's a legacy. And I'm not talking about a building or a house. I'm talking about that dash in between my birth date and my death date. That's my legacy. And what will they say about me? What kind of man was he? What kind of son was he? What kind of husband, father, friend, associate, businessman, church member, leader, whatever the title you want to put on me. I wear a lot of hats, but typically most men do. But it's really about my legacy. And so that legacy needs to be something that my wife can be proud of, my mom can be proud of, my children can be proud of, my family can be proud of, my friends. And I think about it. And so it oftentimes dictates the decisions that I make. And so the king will oftentimes be aware of the legacy. Every decision that you make has consequences. And there are unintended consequences. And there are reactions and actions that you won't even be able to understand. But if you are aware of the legacy that you're building, you'll make best practice decisions based on the fact that you're trying to build a legacy or a name that will outlive the years that you inhabit and live on this earth. So I think, but kids, again, we start talking about, in contrast, kids, they typically can't spell the word legacy. They don't understand what the word means. They don't understand why it's important. And so you need to be aware. You know, here's the deal. You don't have to say much. You don't have to, God has already given you the gift of discernment. He's made women typically, there's that sixth sense that you all have.
And that's real, y'all.
Something in your stomach and different, depending on what part of the globe
Remember,
you live in.
it was the red flag that I had a feeling. Something told me.
It's the Holy Spirit, the Holy Ghost. You can call it what you want to call it, but He has made us physically stronger and bigger. He's made you mentally, emotionally stronger. And He's given you something to offset that fact that we are physically stronger. And that's something in your stomach that says, okay, that's not right.
Yeah.
And it's up to you whether you want to be the kid or the
Looking
queen
back,
to ignore.
Oh, there you go.
To ignore it or to own up to it and say, you know what, I don't care if it's uncomfortable. I need you to explain this.
Yes.
And if you can do that, here's it. You don't have to step outside of yourself.
Yep.
You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be anything other than the queen. But you have the right as the queen to ask questions. And if there's this huge pomp and circumstance and fireworks going all over the place, then that typically is us trying to hide or create subterfuge. I mean, it just is. I mean, I'm gonna probably get my man card pulled when I get off of this.
Y'all, it is.
But it's the truth.
It is.
You know,
Praise
when
God.
we get
Yes,
upset,
it is.
We throw all
Acting
kind
a
of tempers
fool.
and
I don't know
tantrums,
what
and
you're talking
and
about.
we talk
It's like, yes, you
when
do.
the neighbor's house on fire. Well, hold on now.
You're like, but I asked you a
about
question.
this.
Yeah.
No,
And
no,
you
no,
talking
but-
about their house
no,
on
you
fire.
didn't
I
feel that
don't
earthquake
care about
just now?
No.
I mean, no. Let's
The
talk
ground is
about
good
this.
here. Yeah.
So just be aware. You know.
Yeah. This is good.
Men will oftentimes stand up and own.
Let me know if you
our
ladies are
position.
getting anything from this, or if you have any questions before he does get out of here, because y'all heard him say he's gonna leave. But when we talk about it, so you pack. Let's unpack a little bit of what you said. But just leaving where you were talking about there, that red flag, that gut feeling, that my intuition, I should have known, or I felt like, whatever it is. A lot of times when we look back, those feelings were there, but we ignored them, right? And so he actually challenged us and said, you know, being the kid versus the queen, you know, like, because the kid, she want what she want. Like, oh, girl, I ain't worried about that. I'm just going to have a little fun. I'm going to do what I... Okay.
The kid is more concerned with being in a relationship.
Bring
the
it home.
queen could not care less.
At all.
If it means being
Not
lied
give
to.
any...
She could not care less if it means being lied to and not having it being given to her.
Y'all,
100% straight
if it's not right, I
up to
don't
the
want
front.
it.
So
Yes.
just be aware that we have stuff that we have to deal with as kings and kids, but also on the other side, you know, God has given you a spirit of discernment. He's given you, you know what
that's
truth
good.
is, you know what lies are. And you have to be a mindset, and your heart has to be at peace that says, you know what, I'll be by myself before I be with you, and you sit here and lie to me, or you do anything that disrespects me as a woman.
What was the word from that song? Having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. So I'm just take what I got and work with it. That's a kid speaking, right? That's
either the 1970s when it was written.
right.
And that may have very well been the case when men was
Right.
they were far and few in between.
Right. You just gotta take what you got.
So,
but that's the kid
that's
speaking when you say, "Well, I'm gonna just take
that's
what I
kid
got
speaking.
and I'm gonna work
That's
with
kid
it. I'm gonna just make it be what it is because you know having a piece of man is better than having no man at all." And it's like,
that's either fear or foolishness. It's one of the two.
no, that is not. So it's not settling for those relationships where again the red flags are flying and waving and dinging and all of that just because you want to be in something, right? The queen says, I'm good. What's the rapper say? I'm good, love, enjoy. Like I don't need to be in that thing. And that's so critical and so important, ladies, because as we talk about doing the work, the autopsies, and what your vision is, remember, I told you, Buster the Clown, he's going to come. He's going to come your way. But are you going to be equipped and strong enough knowing what you really want and deserve and desire to say, you're not him, so I'm good. I'm going to wait over here in the corner until him comes, right? And so I think that's so good. That is so good. Any questions or anything before he leaves? LaTanya says, yes, Reginald. ... That means I was good, husband. And Miss Connie says, yes, this is good. Pay attention to the guy, or as I say, the Holy Spirit. Hello. Again, when we go back and do the work and look at the autopsy and the bones and the pieces and the parts and what was, dead in places, we can really say, I knew when this happened that it probably meant something, right? And you might not have called it at the time, but go back and pat yourself on the back and say, you know what? I didn't call it, but there was something in me that felt it. There was something in me that knew something was awry. So even if you didn't call it then, don't beat yourself up, because at the end of the day, you now know that you have whatever it is in you that you need to suss that kind of stuff out when it does come your way again. So, Mr. Reginald, I'm actually going to get ready to wrap up too. I'm going to wrap up too. So, I I am beyond thrilled that for the past 3 Sundays, y'all have chosen to be here with me, and then this Sunday with me and him. And I just really, I don't know how to say it other than just my heart is grateful for you. There have been so many. Donna says, thanks, Reginald. I'll tell you who Donna is when we get done. But the thing is, it's like I set out to achieve a goal, which was to challenge myself to even show up in this space, because a lot of times I'm not online like this. You know, I have my list, I send my notes out, but being able to share with people who may not have ordinarily either known who I was, or maybe not shared with me in this type of space, or maybe you've only heard me talk about the online. And so I know that there's so much more in me and so much more that I'm going to continue sharing with you all as we get into the new year. But I just thank y'all for showing up and coming and being here and sharing with your girlfriends and going back and watching the replays and every single thing that you've done. And it's really got me thinking of, okay, so how do we show up again next year? Maybe it's not 3 Sundays in a row, but maybe we do something every month. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here with me and being here and showing up for you, because from week 1 to last night, I had a woman who was in a really bad relationship and emailed me as of last night, and I will reply to your email if you're on here tonight. And she left a bad thing, y'all. She left a really, really bad and ugly thing that she'd been in, that she knew she wasn't supposed to be in, but it was because she came here and she spent time with us and she talked about what she was going through, and she realized, I deserve so much more than this, right? And so, you know how you always hear people say, if just one life has been changed. And so not only was that one life, but I've heard from so many of you. And so I really just thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and for showing up with me in this space, and also letting me look at a little bit differently how I deliver things to you. I know we do, in January, I always do my workshop, and that workshop is a sit down kind of meeting where we come together here in Houston. But if you're in a different state and you have thought about the online dating component of dating because you don't have time to go out, or you've met every guy in your zip code, let me know if you would be willing to do a live webinar scenario like this, where I'm truly teaching it to you much like this, and you do it from the comfort of your own home, right? And you get over the stigma of people knowing you dating online, because y'all know I know that y'all still holding on to that. Hey, Renee, thank you. Oh, Renee's reading the book. Yay! Thank you. Send me an email. Once you get to the back of the book, it has my email in there. Send me an email. Let me know what you think about it. Really, really appreciate that. And for anyone here on the live, if you want a copy of the book, when I'm done, I'm going to go online. I'm going to put a code in. They're usually $20. We're going to do them for $15 and free shipping. So I'm going to ship it to you on my dime, plus give you $5 off. So if you want a book, let me know, and I will, I'll go on tonight and put a code in. The code will be SAVVY. Let's make it easy. SAVVY. And that'll be ready in like an hour, because I didn't know I was going to do that. So the code will be SAVVY, SAVVY. If you want a book, it'll be $15 plus free shipping. You can order it, let's say, in an hour, just to make sure it's ready. But if you are interested in participating in the workshop, but in a component like this where you do it at your home, you learn on your own pace, let me know. Send me an email, drop me a note, DM me, whatever it is. But I want to show up for you. I want to be here for you. And I want to continue walking out what I know God has purposed me to do. So I want to show up in different ways as we get into 2019. So if you say, yep, I want to attend the Smart Girls Guide to Digital Dating, that's the one where we talk about the sites. That's the one where we talk about creating your profile, because some of y'all out there losing in them profiles, ladies. Y'all still, it ain't right. If you want to learn how to actually communicate with the men and the men that you meet online so that you can continue to keep going, let me, you need me? You, okay. You feel okay? Yeah, he's saying bye, y'all. Thank you, Reginald. You good? Don't go passing out in the he walk off and then pass out or something. Hey, Martha. Martha, I'm wrapping up, but I want you to go back and watch this from the top. So if you are interested in something like that, let me know, because like I said, I want to show up a little bit differently in 2019. And again, helping you all get over your fears and stigmas, because I still know that y'all don't want to sit in the room with people who know y'all online dating. Y'all know y'all got to get over that, right? Get over that. But I have enjoyed my time with you. So to recap really quickly tonight, making your vision plain. What's your list? Top 5. What are those qualities you're looking for, right? Then what are your relationship non-negotiables? What are those things that you are not willing to give on, right? And then what's that last one? What are you willing to change to get your heart's desires, y'all? And then as I've shown you here, write that vision, make it plain. Put it on a canvas, put it on a board, put it somewhere where you can see it. Why? Because that's going, it's permeating, like it's absolutely going in here. You're constantly seeing it. You're constantly thinking about it. So if you walk out the door in the morning and you've already seen a man I can respect, you know, a lover, someone who's God-fearing, someone who's respectful, all these things, right? So when the guy cat calls at you, you're not turning your head saying, oh, hey, because you already know he's not who I'm looking for, right? You've got that vision. It's plain. You see it every single day, right? So thank you all so much for being here with me. 3 Sundays in a row, we rocked it out. I'm just grateful. I am absolutely grateful. I am here for you as a resource. If you have any questions about what we talked about tonight, if you say, yes, Tara, I'd be interested in a webinar type situation for the online dating component, let me know that. If you want the book for $15, which is $5 off plus the free shipping, I'm paying for that. Give me a little bit of time. I'm going to go run in there. When you go to the purchase page, actually, no, I'm just going to mark it down so you won't even need a code. So it will be marked down for like the next 48 hours if you want that. And then drop me a note. Email me. Let me know how you all are doing. Let me know how you want me to show up for you in 2019. I have enjoyed these talks with you guys. So maybe we can do something once a month where we're together and we're just talking about relationships and dating. And as y'all see, I got a little pool. I was able to bring the man in, so we can definitely get the man's perspective in. So I am thrilled. I am grateful. And I will continue to be here for you. So I thank you all so much. If you don't hear from me between now and the new year, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. I wish you all a Happy New Year. This is a great time for us to start setting those new intentions, y'all. There was a purpose behind me doing this in December, right? Because everybody's teaching you come January, but I wanted y'all to do the work in December so that when you were ready for that new year and new beginnings and all this, you know, new me, new love, new everything, that right here, right now, you're ready. You've got those true tools that have prepared you for this. So share this with a girlfriend, tag them, whatever it is, just so that someone else who needs something like this will actually get it. So I love you. I thank you. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. And I look forward to talking to you all soon. Like I said, the book is going to be on sale. I just need enough time to get to the room and the computer. It'll be $15 and free shipping. And anything else, y'all know how to reach me. SHEDATES SAVVY, shedatesavvy@gmail.com. And if I don't talk to you between now and the new year, I wish you an abundance of blessings, of health, of wealth, of security, of love, of joy, of peace, of all those things that each of us, whether we're married or single or in relationships, each of those things that we desire. So I wish you just an overabundance of that for you and your family. So thank y'all so much. I will talk to you on the other side. Bye, y'all.